My name is Tom, your friend and host with Weapons Education, bringing you an important subject a lot of people refer to as road rage. And let's face it, the word rage sounds a little radical, and here we are, 2020, going forward. We're in a litigious society. We're talking about firearms. You got a license to carry a firearm. Listen up. I'm going to give you two real case scenarios given to me from my friends at CCW Safe, who offer a legal contract. You know, I'm going to put my sunglasses on, not to look like a shady character, but it's a little bright out here. A legal contract to defend you if you're in a self-defense situation. Now, by the way, I'll tell you at the end, you need to have this coverage, by the way. I'm going to use the word almost like it's ridiculous not to have in this society to carry a gun and not have coverage that you can have a legal defense team defend you. In this case, the same attorney for Zimmerman is on CCW's side. We'll talk about that in a moment. There's 3 states that you can't buy it in no more. I'll get to that. But let me tell you about road rage, okay? Here's 2 true stories. First story. Now, first of all, think of yourself. You're driving. You're in a good mood. You're comfortable. You're listening to music maybe. And everything's fine. Well, in this case, a man driving a BMW, comfortable driving, accidentally cuts off a pickup truck. The pickup truck gets really upset by it, and what does he do? He's got a gun. He pulls up next to the BMW. The BMW rolls his window down. He's got a witness. His friend's sitting next to him, and he goes, "My bad, sorry." But it's simultaneously the guy with the pickup pulls his gun. Every time a gun is pulled, you're talking about a nightmare situation. Well, the BMW driver happened to be a Marine, former Marine, knows his weapons. What does he do? He pulls his gun and they exchange fire. What happens? Both are dead. True story. This happened not far from here, Davie, Florida, about 15 miles south of where I'm standing. So, in that scenario, if you happen to cut someone off and someone's coming to your vehicle, you're carrying a gun. Now, when you're carrying a gun, you're up 10 different levels of awareness and a law-abiding citizen. And in this society, this litigious society, where we got liberal judges who hear the word gun are going to want to put you in jail. What would you do now? You cut someone off, the pickup truck guy gets out of his car, walks up to your window. Maybe it would have been a good idea, of course, because he's dead, to just drive away. Try to avoid situations. I've been saying this for a long time. Run away from a bad situation. You're not going to remember it tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to be thinking of your normal life. What's going on with this, that, and the other. My job, my kids, my money, my expenses, da-da-da. You're not going to remember that little couple of seconds of altercation you had. As Don West says, lead attorney for CCW Safe, and I like this verbiage. Your temper goes from 0 to 100 in seconds in a road rage situation. And your heart rate goes up and everything changes, and you got to calm down. But it's hard to when you go from 0 to 100 in seconds. Second scenario, true life scenario. Now, as Don West says, road rage incidents may be the most common life-threatening scenarios that concealed carriers can encounter. It goes from 0 to 100 in seconds. It goes from people just driving down the road to a potential deadly encounter. One of the difficulties with road rage situations is that tempers are high and there are no easy ways to de-escalate it. Okay, second true life story. Second true life story. This one ended out better. Okay. As Don West, attorney for CCW Safe, the man who got Zimmerman off, explains in this situation, after a perceived traffic insult, maybe someone gave him the finger, a driver started aggressively following the person for miles. Now you got a guy following you for miles because whatever happened at a red light or whatever, someone cuts someone off, you got some guy on your tail who's a whack job. Well, in this case, the aggressive driver passed, pulled in front of the car, and hit his brakes, wouldn't let him pass, and threw his car in reverse, did everything he can to provoke, well, the good guy, right? Well, what did the good guy do? Instead of losing his temper, now they're both on the side of the road. They're both on the side of the road. The bad guy pulled in front of him, wouldn't let him pass, forced him off the road. They're both on the side of the road. One car, the bad guy in front, good guy in back. Good guy's carrying a gun. He knows I gotta be calm. He does the right thing. He backed up over 100 yards. Looked over his shoulder, looked in his mirrors, and just kept backing up as this guy's walking up to his car. He knows he's got his gun. He just kept backing up, and it worked. And in that case, the guy ultimately just got back in his car and finally left. Now, the next day, they both woke up, and the good guy can go on with his life. The bad guy, hopefully he has a better life going forward, doesn't provoke any more of these situations, but the key is you gotta de-escalate quick. You can't let your temper get out of control. And as Don West states, if you have a weapon legally, you have a responsibility to avoid situations, if you can safely do so, obviously. But you have to have discipline no matter how right or wrong you are. I want to reiterate, you have to have discipline no matter how right or wrong you are in that road rage situation. Because you know what? The next day there's going to be two things that are going to happen. One, you're just going to forget about it because you did the right thing. You de-escalated, you got out of the way, you drove off, you backed up, you got out of the way, you don't roll your windows down, you don't start screaming and yelling at each other. You be cool. You get out of bad situations. Or you can wake up the next day and say, I shot a guy because he ran up to my window and, oh, the guy wasn't even armed. Well, there's so many different scenarios. Or the guy was armed, but he didn't pull the trigger, and how are the judges going to read this? And now you got to hire an attorney, and it's a nightmare of a life. Or you can just wake up the next day 6 feet under, dead. I'd rather just wake up the next day not really remembering what happened and going on with my life. You follow what I'm saying? Now, let me get to you about the updates with CCW Safe. By far the best legal contract you can have. It protects you in a situation if you have to draw your gun in self-defense. Proven past tense. I've done videos on the Maddox case. First time in Carolina history in which a man was charged with first-degree murder, capital murder in that state. He was getting life in prison, and he walked off scot-free. He had Don West, who was Zimmerman's attorney, and the dream team that CCW Safe put together for him. He got off and walked, first person in Carolina history to walk from a capital murder charge, because he had $500,000 or so of legal money put together for him, and he paid just for his membership. It was, at the time, it was lower than it is now. It was like $180. But the link is below for you to join CCW Safe. You gotta have it. Now, in these 3 states, sorry, they can't sell it to you if you're in a liberal state called New York, New Jersey, and now Washington. Those 3 states do not want people to have the right to have good legal defense. I'm not going to get into all the legalities because I'm not all familiar with it. I'm just telling you, they can't sell it to you if you live in those 3 states. So, that's hopefully going to work out, but we don't know. The bottom line, in this society where we have, obviously, this is not opinion, liberals who want to take away your rights, and if you do something with your gun to save your life and you don't have good legal defense, you're done. You are done. You're going to have to get a public defender, mortgage your house, who knows what. Hopefully you're really, really rich. You live with one of my neighbors in one of these mansions here, and you're going to lose everything. Or you can have a card in your wallet and just, this is what you do in a worst case scenario, as long as you're in the right. You know, they're not going to protect you for homicide. They're not going to protect you in domestic disputes. But don't argue with your wife, by the way. That's a whole nother story. They're going to protect you if you legitimately have a self-defense situation. So, you want that coverage. The link is below to CCW Safe. Get that card in your wallet, and what you do is, if someone happens to shoot at you and you got to shoot back, there's so many hundreds of scenarios, you just tell law enforcement, I'm willing to work with the investigation, but here is my attorney. You pull out your CCW Safe card, and that's it. You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth, because what you say can and will be held against you. So why should you say anything? Let your attorney speak for you, because every state has different laws. Get CCW coverage now. I spoke about the road rage incident. Stay calm, folks. Stay calm, because now is the worst case scenario time for you to want to draw your weapon in a gray area. Don't do it. Drive away. Run away from bad situations. I've been saying that for a decade now. And people make fun of me. Oh, I'm just gonna pull my gun and be a Rambo and shoot up. Oh no. Not the right answer. The right answer is to be calm, relaxed, cool, collected, and not remember it the next day and go on with your life. Thumb up the video, subscribe, pass it around, and I like to give you information that makes your lives better. So when you're driving and next time someone gives you a hard time on the road, you just laugh and say, I'm breathing, I love the outdoors, I love life, and I want to continue living this way. I don't need the aggravation the schmuck just caused me. Got it? My name's Tom. Thumb up the video and subscribe if you're new. Bye-bye.